Hi readers, I'm Jordan.
And I'm Katie.
And welcome to Not Another Heroine, the podcast where we break down the best and worst fictional heroines, those swashbuckling ladies who have to work a little harder than expected for their happy ending.
Want to see what's next on our TBR list? Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Instagram for a sneak peek at upcoming content or to help us pick our next book. It's the pick of the week.
Ooh.
It happened.
You kind of postured yourself the way like a seagull postures. I'm going somewhere like your shoulders went back, you like cacawed up.
That's fair. It kind of did feel like it like cacawed out of my mouth. So yeah, and appropriate.
It was cute though.
Thanks. I'm running out of ideas. I think I need something like somber and emo-y soon. We'll wait for the seasonal depression to like kick in and then it'll be perfect.
Yeah, we'll have a few much darker episodes.
Yeah.
But this is a different pick of the week episode from our normal because we're doing a follow-up.
Yeah. And it's a follow-up of both of our picks. So the last 2 weeks, we had Jordan's pick, Assistant to the Villain by Maehrer.
Oh, you remember? I didn't remember this one. I think it's Hannah Maehrer thing.
Oh, yeah. It's right in front of me. Hannah Nicole Maehrer. And then my pick of the week was the Ex Hex by Erin Sterling.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Ex Hex at least was very mid. Mid.
Which is so apt for so many books now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not terrible, but it's not particularly great. It's not going to keep you up at night.
Yeah, which is like a bummer because I had heard so much good stuff about this book and it was like the spooky vibes. I'm like, this is perfect. I did watch that movie that you said was like a...
Oh, Practical Magic?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Kind of. I was very confused. Like the plot was like going everywhere. Like they murdered some guy and then there was like some like Southern detective that came.
I don't remember much about the movie because it's been several years.
Yeah.
But...
So that was better. So if you want something spooky, just like use the time instead of reading the Ex Hex and then just watch that movie.
Oh, that's rough.
I will say, okay, so if you have like a bunch of kids or like dogs that you're babysitting and like your attention can't be like drawn into something, this is a great book because it's like I was reading it the whole time. I wasn't, like immersed, which has never happened before with a book ever in my life. So this was a not fun experience.
Well, normally books like that are the books that I put down and don't come back to ever again. Just because like we read to get immersed in the story and feel like a sense of escape. So what's the point?
Yeah. The point was I wanted to have something to talk about today. That's about it.
Well, and I think books like that one, though, are super popular right now.
Yeah.
And they're getting a lot of traction everywhere. And it's disappointing when they're disappointing.
Yeah. Because I kind of feel like, have you ever read like beach reads?
I've tried. It's like chick lit.
Yeah.
It's like women. Like, one way to trigger me. Call anything women's fiction. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It's just,
what does that mean?
It's fiction, right? It doesn't matter who you are. You can read it.
Yeah.
But yeah, beach reads are that.
Yeah.
Meant to be casual and...
But it's weird because this is like an autumn, like I'm not going to sit on the beach when it's cold and rainy with like rain boots on and read this.
It's almost like for people who, because I know some people just aren't readers, right? Like, so maybe a more standard reading experience is just reading and not getting immersed in it.
I could see that.
So if that's how you approach books, maybe.
Yeah, this would be a fun one if that's the way that you read things. But I also don't know if like our readers, if that's them.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe if you're like recommending a book to someone you know that maybe doesn't read a lot.
Like if you're recommending a book to your mom.
Yeah, because the spicy like smutty scenes in this are like pretty like, I was going to say dry, which is such a gross. I'm sorry. That was the grossest word I could have picked.
Don't. Oh, Katie.
Like, what's the opposite of smutty? Yeah. Not the opposite of dry. Just like not much going on. Like not spicy.
Bland,
I guess. It's kind of like a fade to black almost. Like there's a couple of like kind of naughty scenes, but like nothing in comparison to the other book that we just attempted to read. We'll talk about
that book. Stay tuned,
Halloween.
readers, for a few more weeks.
Yeah.
We have a surprise for you.
Yeah, it's not a good surprise though. So yeah, the Ex Hex, it was kind of mid. I am on the lookout though for other spooky reads that are kind of like contemporary romance. So if you have any recommendations, like please let me know. Jordan and I just went to Barnes and Noble the other day. And
I was about to say, for similar books, isn't like you picked up that Meg Cabot book. That struck me as very similar to the Ex Hex, at least in premise.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that, and I don't remember what it's called. Let's look it up.
Something similar to the Ex Hex, I think. It's
Enchanted to Meet You, Witches of West Harbor novel. I don't know where West Harbor is. I feel like I'm supposed to know, maybe. Because I also thought that Meg Cabot wrote those books about like the it girls, but apparently not, because she just wrote The Princess Diaries.
She has a couple other pen names though. So she writes under Patricia Cabot is her historical romance pen name.
What?
Sidebar. There is a book called Educating Caroline, which she wrote under Patricia Cabot. It's fucking adorable. I love it. It's one of my like, I don't remember what it's about, but I remember loving it so much that it's in my top like top books.
Okay. Huh. Because she wrote, I did read Airhead. Did you ever read that?
No.
And then like there was another one, Being Nikki. It's like body swap things, but like she's like a model. Anyways, I was like, I trust Meg Cabot weirdly, so we'll see how this goes. So at least that one's on my list. But if you have other ones, I want some like spooky reads, but like contemporary romance spooky reads.
I want to say Sally Thorne wrote like a Frankenstein one.
Okay.
I tried to read it. I couldn't get into it. So maybe someone else likes it though. But it is definitely like this. It's a spooky rom-com.
Rom-com.
Words. It's always the first recording of the day is always rough.
Yeah, that's fair. Was Assistant to the Villain also mid?
I think I'll have to go with mid as a rating because I haven't finished it yet.
Oh, okay. So that tells me everything I need to know.
And I want to finish it. It's not that it's bad. It's just kind of predictable.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like we pick up these books because they're predictable. So I'm like halfway through it. Like I got another 100 pages in and you meet some more characters. The villain is charming. He's got some interesting siblings that are clearly being set up for their own storylines.
Oh,
which fine.
Yeah.
It's just, I think the heroine is such a caricature of cute but sassy tropes.
Oh, that gets kind of hard to read sometimes.
Yeah, it's like she's always cute and sassy and snarky and it's fine, but it gets old after a while because we've seen that girl in a movie or in a TV show over and over and over again. It's like, do people really behave that way in real life?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure there are. Like, I'm sure.
But it's also like, that's exhausting.
Yeah. Like, I'm tired of reading about it. So how is the villain putting up with this for a while? I will say that the author does this like banter and tension building and like romance building without throwing a bunch of sex in really well. So it's nice. All of these like intimate moments between, sorry. Wonder what that could be. So the author does these interactions between Evie, the heroine, and the villain, where they're always interacting with each other. There's always this romantic tension, but there's not a lot of like it's not overt. So like they have a professional relationship, but there's this underlying simmering chemistry that they both feel but aren't talking about.
Ooh. See, that's kind of nice because the Ex Hex, like the premise is they hooked up, like 10 years ago and now they're back to, or they're like located together, working on an adventure together. So it's annoying because like most of the fun chemistry stuff like happened off page and now it's just like, oh my God, I still think he's hot. And like, but there's no tension really.
Yeah, and that's a must. I think in any book, you need tension. Whether it's like a positive, they're friends and it's going to morph into something else, or they're enemies and they will morph into something else. You need the tension to keep the, I guess, book going.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's kind of an assistant to the villain, and I feel like if you're perhaps a younger reader, this is definitely, I think, geared towards adults. But I think
interesting.
I think it would appeal to younger readers because of maybe the characters.
Yeah. They kind of feel like, is rote a word?
Yeah.
Okay. They feel rote. Is that the right? Let me like Google define this because I don't think that's right.
I think it's close to right though.
Mechanical or habitual repetition of something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's spot on. Well done, Katie.
Rob would be so proud.
I know. We're getting words here and there. We're improving. We're
occasionally. As we were just listening to the previous episode for Master of Crows, where I said bidet, Gianna. Yeah, we're doing it.
We're here. Yeah. So, Assistant to the Villain is also along the same lines as far as like how I would rate it. Right up there with the Ex Hex as far as less than impressive.
That's kind of bummer because the Ex Hex 2, I was expecting something a little bit more spooky, and they had the scene that like they had to. So a ghost like got rid of its bindings because of the whole like the town is infected now with the bad juju magic. Words are hard, and that was like kind of spooky, but like not really. Like they could have made it way creepier and then like added in the like, you know, very like October witchy autumn vibes. But it was like a very like made for TV ABC movie. And I was like, what? Like give me something a little bit spookier. Come on.
So there is a spooky-ish series. I can't remember the author. It's called the Mediator series. And I know I talked about it before. Yeah. But it's about a mediator who can see ghosts and helps them to the afterlife.
Oh, like a medium?
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's called The Mediator.
Oh, okay.
And the character is this very spoiled, popular girl type, like obsessed with shoes and name brand purses and stuff. But she's sassy and strong and like not your average like teen heroine.
Yeah.
And her romance is with this 100-year-old ghost who's trapped in the house that she moves into with her family.
Okay. I'm kind of listening. I'm intrigued.
I think it's like 4 or 5 books. They're all very short. I remember loving it as like a 13-year-old. Yeah. Like, so if you're a younger reader again, or you're an adult reader and want to revisit your youth, that's fair. That's a fun, spooky.
That sounds like a fun premise. Because even like Divine Rivals. So at Jordan's recommendation, I started reading this book. She just did the funniest like whole body like shimmy. That was awesome.
I don't know what I was doing.
I started reading Divine Rivals, and like for whatever reason, that kind of gives me spooky vibes. Like it's set in like World War I-esque alternate universe.
Yeah, the violence and the brewing war always in the background.
Yeah, and she just made it to like the war front where I started. So it's like that kind of spooky tension of like everything's dark and like they're trying to find this house, but like they have to be really quiet and everything's like deserted. It's like that's spooky.
Yeah,
Yeah. But like, why is this book that's not really intended to be spookier, like spookier than this one that's literally called the Ex Hex and the 12 Witches?
I know.
Sigh. So yeah, I don't know if I would recommend it to people, but if you're maybe like doing something that requires attention, but you also want to read at the same time, you can read the Ex Hex, but like that's about it.
Oh,
I don't know.
That's depressing, but I don't know. We tried.
Yeah, we did.
But
from our shelf to yours,
that actually works this week.
Yeah, it does, but it felt weird.
It does.
Yeah.
Well,
but yeah.
We'll go with it.
Sure.
We'll see you on the next page.
Will we?